Hey, morning. It's Celebration Friday, and I've been thinking a lot about this topic about what people wear because I noticed something a couple weeks ago, and it's kind of just been, it continues to be on my mind. So I keep thinking about it over and over again. And I'll start with sharing like my own story of how I have learned how to get dressed for interviews because it's actually rather funny. I think the main point here is to dress how you want to feel. First and foremost, like I'll start with that, and knowing how to dress is super important because it can really build a lot of confidence for yourself. And I remember the first time I ever had an interview. I was interviewing with Goldman Sachs. I was a senior in college. I had had internships before that and had like not worn a suit, but I quickly came to realize that was not really appropriate for someone like Goldman Sachs. And I did a first round interview and I was dressed nicely, but I wasn't dressed in a suit. I dressed in, I still remember it to this day, a pink shirt that I would wear to like as a business casual, like work day, a skirt that was a pinstripe skirt with a little, it was like an A line, and I wore open-toed shoes because it was September or October, I think, at that point. So it was still kind of warm in Boston. And I I just remember like leaving the meeting being like feeling fairly good, but not realizing what I did. And I called my brother and he's like, "You wore what?" And I was like, "I don't know. I thought that was gonna be okay." And he's like, "No, no, 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 no." And so I met up with him like maybe a week later. I think in Philadelphia where he lives, and he helped me pick out my first suit. He helped me pick out a padfolio. He helped me pick out shoes. And I remember when I put all of it together, I felt so good. Like I was like, wow, I look really like professional. Like I look like I really care about what I'm up to. And I find this really important because I think a lot of people think that like what you wear shouldn't matter. And I, I think it can be a very controversial topic, and I've seen it be controversial in circles that I run in. Um, and I do understand that like everybody has a different style. Every industry has a different style. So by no means do you need to like wear a suit if you know the culture, like that you're going into like, a tech field where you're in Silicon Valley and everybody wears jeans to work. Like I totally get that, right? But there is value in thinking about how you dress and if how you dress reflects confidence in yourself. Because what I saw a couple weeks ago, it was an acquaintance that I recently met. He comes with me to my church sometimes, and I noticed that his pants aren't hemmed to him. And I noticed his shirt doesn't exactly fit him exactly right. And it's like those little details, you can really notice them, and you notice them at work, you notice them at an interview, you notice them at a networking event, you notice them in your life, right? You know those people who look like they don't care about how they dress in the morning, that they kind of just throw something on, right? There's a big difference between doing that and being intentional about how you dress. Even if you're being intentional about how you dress in a casual sense. Um, I always think about how I dress now, but I didn't always do that. I remember there was a time when I was called out in a coaching program that I was in, and this was a pretty crazy experience for me to have been called out this way, but we were told to dress like we were going to a wedding. And the coaching program was in Florida, and had not brought anything to wear that would be appropriate for a wedding. So I was like, they're just going to have to deal with my business formal outfit that I had brought because I had come straight from a work meeting before I had gone to this coaching program in Florida. So I wore a gray suit, pencil skirt, and a black shirt. And I was called out for it, and they're like, "What's your deal? You know what you were asked to wear. Do you think this would be would you feel comfortable at a wedding wearing this?" And that was the moment that I realized, oh my gosh, I can't dress this wasn't appropriate, and I would be very uncomfortable in this, and I wasn't willing to do what it takes in that moment to dress the way that I was asked to dress for appropriateness, for propriety, and I wasn't willing to feel beautiful in that way. And it really rocked me to my core. This was about a year and a half ago. And when I realized that that's what I do, I've been dressing like that my whole life, when I'm kind of like, well, it shouldn't matter what I wear, because what matters is what's in my head. And like, I do think that it's very important to, be thoughtful and smart. And like, that is very critical. But I think the way you dress definitely shows how you feel about yourself on the inside too. So it shows your confidence or lack thereof. And dressing the way that feels really good, you can tell when somebody feels that way. You can tell that somebody feels comfortable in their own skin and they're happy with how they dress. And so I'm not saying like put yourself in a box, because I think in DC it's very easy for women to start wearing black, gray, or blue suits, for instance, or guys doing the same thing, right? I think adding a little bit of jazz, a little color, a little bit something different, a different kind of necklace, a different kind of tie, a different color shirt that just seems, unique to who you are, can be such a powerful way to distinguish yourself, and it becomes something to compliment you on. And I get complimented now on my clothes, because after a year and a half after all of that experience, I was like, I don't want to continue dressing this way. I don't want to continue feeling this way about the way I look. And I began shifting that. I began starting to make small changes with putting on like necklaces for the first time, like buying a couple necklaces, like actually investing in that. And then I decided to invest in Stitch Fix, which was like, because I actually really hate shopping, which is like one of the reasons why I really don't like, I don't own tons and tons of clothes, because I don't like to go shopping. And as a result, I always complain about like the plain Jane look that I had. So I decided to start buying into Stitch Fix, because that would increase my wardrobe, and I can ask for certain things, and I can say, I want to be edgy, I want to be different, this is the style that I like. And it really helped me, because now I love the clothes that I have. I don't worry about what am I going to wear in the morning, because I know I have plenty of options, and I still build on them all the time. But I think it's like such a powerful place to feel like you love your wardrobe, because it's a part of loving who you are. And when you do that, going to a networking event feels a lot better. Going to an interview feels a lot better. Going into work feels a lot better. So it's a way of celebrating yourself by wearing clothes that really vibe with who you are as a person. So as much as I know that people want to know how to dress for an interview and how to dress for a networking event, how to dress for work, it's more important to first get in touch with how do you want to look, how do you want to feel, and then figure out what's appropriate from there. Because I push the envelope now, like I work in a business casual environment, I would say. I previously worked in a business formal environment, and I didn't choose to be edgy because I just chose to shop at Ann Taylor or Banana Republic and do the general like normal colors of those places, like black, gray, and blue. And it took me a long time to get here. So like don't beat yourselves up if you don't feel like you love what you wear. But I mean, start thinking about what's going to make you feel amazing, what's going to celebrate who you are, and dress from that place. Because you can be business formal and still have an edge to you. You can be business casual and still have an edge to you. You can be casual and have an edge to you. It's your edge is who you are. It's your unique self, and it's who you get to celebrate every single day. And it's a matter of taking just a little bit of time to reflect on what that looks like for you. Because when you don't reflect on that, everybody else notices it too. And it reflects on who you are in terms of your confidence of yourself. And that's the last thing that you want people to be worried about when interviewing you, when networking with you, when you're in your current job, because how you dress actually makes an impression. 93% of communication is nonverbal, and your clothes is part of that. So think about that when you are making your decision about what you want to wear tomorrow, because it's an important element of what you want to do. Let me know if you have questions about this, if you want some support around how to dress for a specific event. I'm here for you. I'm happy to do that. I'm going to be talking a lot more about this on my mailing list. So if you're interested in what I'm saying today, I'm going to be talking about this a lot more. And join my mailing list. It's in the pinned post at the top of the page. All right. Thanks, guys. Love you. Bye.